Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Mecca of the Universe right here in Cleveland, Ohio. I am your dangerously, dashingly, strikingly handsome, gorgeous, good-looking host, Nick. And with me, as always, is no one because this is PWP TV. This is not, of course, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, which we do every other Sunday on right here on Twitter, on YouTube, on Spreaker. But we're going to get into all that. The Gmail is prowrestlingpod@gmail.com. Once again, prowrestlingpod@gmail.com. The Twitter page is @ProWPodcast. Once again, @ProWPodcast. We are available on iTunes, Podcast X, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa, and right here on YouTube. Whew, that was a lot to say. Now, as you will know, I am wearing a Brock Lesnar t-shirt. I'm sorry, and that's probably going to make this even more convoluted because a few weeks ago, WWE Monday Night Raw had the lowest ratings in history. We're not talking about, within the past 5 years or whatever. We're talking about in all of WWE Monday Night Raw's history from 1993 to 2018, it now has the lowest rating. And I believe it was 2 weeks ago. It said the July 8th, and today is the 18th as I'm looking that up if my computer wants to cooperate. Well, it couldn't have been the 8th, so I'm going to assume it was the 9th. The 8th was a Sunday. So what led to this? What was the cause? Where do they go from here? All sorts of stuff. What led to it? Let's start there. Okay, so the basic gist of it, and this is an obvious one that WWE needs to fully comprehend, which I think at times I don't think they really do. I think that they think they know what's going on, but they really don't. And you have a Universal Champion and the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion of the world, Brock Lesnar. Where's he been? The last time we saw him was the Greatest Royal Rumble, and that was it. We're heading into August. This is SummerSlam. This is a Big Four pay-per-view. I mean, you need Brock here. Now that Extreme Rules is in the books, you need to get right back to it. Get right on it and figure out what your game plan is. And yes, I do have Powerade because my mouth tends to get dry. So if I'm taking drinks of this, I apologize. But you need to figure out what your game plan is. And the thing is, I don't think they really have that with Brock. They have his set of dates or whatever, and his contract is special. But I don't think it's quite enough of a valid reason to give him that title. But it's not really much of a reason. And I kind of feel that, and I've always felt this way with part-time champions. Part-time champions should not be a thing. I feel that the title should be for the guys who are there, 24/7, 365. The guys who deserve that title. Guys like Seth Rollins, who's burning it down every week. Even guys like Rusev on SmackDown, who's doing everything he can to get over, and he's finally in this high-profile match with AJ Styles. And to both of their defense, it was a good match. So it hurts when I see a guy like Brock, who I was very excited for when Brock came back. I was praying and just thanking my lucky stars that he came back because I knew what was in store. I knew we were going to get not wrestling matches. We were going to get fights. And I love that whole MMA fighting kind of concept. You've seen it with Kurt. You've seen it with Taz back in ECW. I love that quote unquote gimmick. And as excited as I was that Brock came back, one of the first things, not instantly, but close to it, they gave him the WWE title, which in my mind and in a lot of people's minds, they were a little confused by it, but they accepted it because at that time, Brock was showing up enough for it to be justifiable. And you're like, okay, it's fine. He's not here every week, but okay. But that was back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever year he came back. Fast forward to 2018. What do you get with Brock? Exactly. So point one for why Raw's ratings have been the lowest in history is Brock. I think that goes without saying at this point. It's hard to build when you don't have a guy to build around. That championship, the guy who has that belt should be like your main star. He should be the one you're building around, not some random guy they feel like pushing, Roman Reigns, which brings us to point number 2, Roman Reigns. Roman. Can he not go 1 week without kicking off Raw? Like I feel like he kicks off Raw every single week, and it gets to the point to where not only is it overbearing, it tunes you out. And quite honestly, the fans, they demonstrated that by not watching Raw. So, WWE, I don't understand why they want to keep pushing the Roman Reigns agenda. And look, I'm not saying this in the sense of, oh, I hate Roman Reigns and he shouldn't be the chosen one. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying the fact that, yes, can Roman wrestle? Yes, he can. Is he good on the mic? No. But is something there to where you can build upon? Absolutely. Problem is, they went up this whole Roman thing the way wrong way. If you want to build a guy up like Roman, you can't just have him win every single week, kicking off the show every single week. You did it with John Cena, and towards the end, the fans were blatantly booing, saying John Cena sucks. It wasn't like a Kurt Angle, you sucked, or they're doing it out of respect for Kurt. It wasn't like that with John Cena. They booed John Cena because they legitimately did not like John. I like John as a person. I like John on the mic. His wrestling ability, I've always been half and half on. But I will say this. John was able to do it. He overcame all that adversity. Now, with Roman, it's not necessarily can he overcome the adversity, at least not yet. It will be, just not yet. But with Roman, it should be more about low-key pushing him. And that's what they should have done back when they started this project in 2012 or 2013 or whenever the Roman Reigns project started. But that's the problem. They didn't. They kind of just went in with both feet and hope for the best. Now, the difference is, though, is that I can only blame Roman for a certain amount. And the reason why is because it's not like he asked for this spot. Cena was just naturally gifted, and it was going to be his spot. I think we all saw that coming especially after his feud with JBL for the United States title. Then it became apparent it's going to be John Cena's playground. With Roman, he hasn't had that match. And you've been at this project for the better half of a decade now. At what point, WWE, do you just say, he's not our guy, it's not working, let's go with someone else? And that's where I'm a little afraid, because you have a guy like Seth Rollins, who is probably my favorite on Monday Night Raw. He should have been the guy. He has the look, he has the mic ability, he is damn talented in the ring. That's a guy you can build around. You can't build around a guy who's half and half and keep doing every single week and say, oh no, but you guys want Roman. You want Roman. I don't have anything against Roman. He's doing the best that he can do. I will even go as far as say I'm a Roman fan. I'm not a big Roman fan, but I think I am a Roman fan. I know there's a lot of people who aren't fans of his, and that's fine. It's a subjective matter. I mean, you can be a fan or you don't have to be. But enough's enough. WWE needs to stop pushing Roman. And number 3, and I really do think that this is the big one. It's the amount of talking they do every single week. And maybe that warps into the fact that's a 3-hour show. I don't know. That's up for debate. But for the sake of this video, a 3-hour wrestling show is daunting and exhausting. And I'm often finding myself asleep for the last half hour of the show, maybe even an hour. That's not good. That you're putting, just as one isolated case, you're putting me to sleep. But overall, when you have a half-hour segment, and they've done this multiple times, where it's a half-hour segment of just people talking. Talking's fine if you have a point. Talking's fine in small doses. You can't talk for a half hour on live TV and expect it to be fine. Look at any award show. Look at any live event, really, on television. Talking for a half hour does not get you ratings. I get it's a long show. You have to fill the void. I just hope, and I know this won't happen, but I'm hoping that once WWE goes on Fox Sports, that it's a 2-hour show. It never should have been 3 before. I've said it once, I'll say it again. 3-hour specials are fine. If you want to have a show where you have like a reason for it to be 3 hours, like the Raw 1000 or whatever, one of those shows, fine. That can be a 3-hour show. That's fine. Totally understandable. It's a special occasion. But when you don't have the talent to stretch it that long, when you don't know what direction you're going in creatively, it's going to be a very long show. And I just hope one day they go back to 2. But those are probably my biggest reasons as to why Raw drew its lowest ratings ever for Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry, WWE for Monday Night Raw. Yeah, you have Brock Lesnar not showing up enough. You have Roman constantly being forced down our throats. And again, I'm not going to jump back into it, but I just want to say, anyone who says, oh, he's not shoved down our throats, watch Raw. Count the amount of times he's on TV. Count the seconds that he's on that TV screen. You'll be surprised. And also the big one, talking / being 3 hours. You can kind of warp that, I guess, in its own category. But before I end this video, I want to give a special shout out to Under the Stars event that myself and Matt were there. We were a part of. We got to interview the owner, Jeff Traxler, which is right on the interview tab on the YouTube channel. Go there. You can find a list of our interviews that we've done so far. We've done interviews with YouTube personality Brian Zane, with Mega Championship wrestler Jackson Stone, owner Jeff Traxler, Lucha Underground's Cobra Moon. So a lot of awesome interviews right there. I really hope you guys go into that tab, check them out. Some are short, some are a little bit longer than others. It's just the nature of scheduling and things like that. So hopefully you guys can make your way on there and check out those interviews. Definitely a good listen. You want to hit up the show, the Gmail is prowrestlingpod@gmail.com. Once again, prowrestlingpod@gmail.com. Twitter page is @ProWPodcast. Once again, @ProWPodcast. Available on iTunes, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa, and right here on YouTube. My name is Nick, and I'll see you guys next week.